to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co.
All right, good morning and welcome in here on this Tuesday morning. As it is week 2 of Lane Kiffin's era at LSU. We'll continue to track the days as they go on because he keeps the news wire rolling. That's for sure. We appreciate everybody getting in here and starting their morning with us. Slat, once again, first in the chat. Gage, Mike, Sade, Glimmer, Charlie, everybody else that has hopped in here this morning. We appreciate you starting your morning with us every single morning. It is myself, Christian, and Lloyd this morning. Tingle and the Co. I appreciate you guys getting in here. Christian, how was your exam yesterday?
It went very well, unexpectedly. Shout out to my professor. Great professor. Talked to us before. Told us how much we're going to do well in the world. And just agree with it.
Why?
You're on the side. Christian's going to do well in the world.
I think he was just talking to Christian. I think he's about like as a whole.
Right,
probably
right,
it's a safe bet.
Yeah. The majority.
Well, I'm in the class that I would say I had one of the higher grades in the class.
How was that?
You and Gemini?
Because I wrote the best papers, not
Okay.
because
So you're a good writer.
not because I studied more than everybody else.
We're going to start using your writing skills.
Well, no,
I'm
that's how he ended up here. He wasn't a good writer.
I actually suck at
Oh,
writing,
yeah,
but
yeah.
was
I mean, you did get rejected by the rebel.
I know, isn't it? And then I ratioed them on Twitter. So funny how
This is what he
things
turned
play out.
into.
Yeah, I mean,
This is his. What's
I think
it?
they dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
It's just a hobby. It's just a hobby.
Nice. Lloyd, how are you, sir?
Excellent. What is it? What's the Batman phrase? You stay a hero long enough, you end up seeing yourself become the villain.
Right,
That's
I'm the
Christian. He's on his villain arc.
Yeah, he's in his villain era.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm
sure
on my
you will.
LSU arc.
There you go.
There you go.
We appreciate everybody getting in here, starting your morning with us. Some news over the last couple of days yesterday. Some transfer portal entries. We will dive into that this morning as 3 Tigers plan to enter the portal. They have not entered the transfer portal because the portal does not open until January 2nd. So it'll be January 2nd through 16th will be the transfer portal window. But you can announce that you plan to enter, which is essentially, hey, other coaches, you can reach out, other universities, reach out to my agent, right? Yeah, they cannot talk to the players directly, the school or the coaches or those collectives, but you know, I have agents. You can try to cut deals. So a lot of these guys are planning to enter the portal. They're letting other places know, you know, you can communicate with my agent. You can figure that. I mean, it's essentially legal tampering.
It's the legal tampering period.
That's what
the
this
NBA?
is. Huh?
Is that in the NBA or baseball?
I would assume baseball.
The legal tampering? Oh.
Why is your camera not
I don't know how it works.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
I'll see if we can figure this out on the fly here.
Fix it, Felix.
I think that's good. Oh, that's better. I'm not good at that kind of stuff.
Are you in the shot?
You gonna see it? A little short. Thank you. A little bit lower. A little bit higher. A little bit lower. Oh!
Okay.
There we go. Fixing the camera shots live here, Tingle.
Well,
but
this is just what happens whenever we do multiple shows.
Yep.
We did another Cook and Throw.
Another
Episode
Cook and Throw
2
yesterday.
is in the tank.
first
And-
episode 1 came out yesterday. If you didn't watch it, go check
Shame
it
on
out.
you.
The jerk chicken wings from Roe and Lloyd's mother, Miss Lily Courtney.
That's
who
right.
Did a great job with Roe, and she cooked up that first batch of wings that Roe bites into to check the temperature, and talk about how good they were. So
They were to temp.
make sure you go check that out, and then obviously next week we'll get the oxtail episode out that they did yesterday. Shout out to Roe, Lloyd's mom, Lily Courtney, and Red Six Spice for letting us use their facilities
Rohan-
and some of their product.
Rowan Courtney or Lily Davy. We haven't decided yet. Either way, it seems like my name's gonna be hyphenated.
I was watching it last night. Even though I lived it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it again. And my buddy Bill wanted to watch it, so we were watching it. Old Bill Young in the chat. And there was one point where Rose said something to your mom, and she just kind of grins and smiles up, looks up at him. And I told him what you had said about Roe becoming your father.
Uh-huh.
And Bill's like, oh yeah, I see it. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, oh no.
That's fine.
But definitely check it out.
I'm gonna
when
have
we-
a little brother.
When we wrap up this morning, definitely go check out Cooking with Roe episode 1 is on our channel. We posted it yesterday. But like we said, planning to enter the transfer portal, 3 LSU Tigers
Class
yesterday.
of 2042.
There you go. Ashton Stamps, who obviously earlier in the season had made the announcement, so that is not a surprise to see his name that he will enter the portal when it opens up next month. He officially announced it yesterday. Stamps obviously would have been a junior this season, a true junior. 6 foot, 190 pounds from Archbishop Rummel, where really, like we've talked about, he got thrown into the fire early as a freshman, a 3-star out of Rummel. Didn't really, I don't think, anticipate playing early on, but they missed and whiffed on portal DBs, then had some injuries. So he ends up starting a handful of games to close out that year, plays a bunch against Ole Miss and Alabama in 2023 in that awful defensive season. But then, going into 2024, Zy Alexander coming back from injury. He's CB1 to start the year. And then Zy comes back and Stamp starts 13 games that year for LSU and leads the SEC in passes broken up with 14. But then gets passed up this season by DJ Pickett, the 5-star coming out of high school. And then P.J. Woodland's development obviously took major strides. And the addition of Mansour Delane, those 3 guys became your cornerback group. So Stamps announcing he will be moving on with 2 years of eligibility remaining because he did indeed redshirt this season. Another name, Wallace Foster, is also another LSU cornerback that is planning to enter the transfer portal. He's a redshirt freshman out of New Orleans where he played at Warren Easton. He was a 3-star prospect back in 2024. So he redshirted in 2024, played in 1 game this season, and will hit the portal. And then last but not least, Ahmad Bro announces that he will look elsewhere to continue his college career. He is your first real contributor from 2025 entering the portal because you've also had Kylan Billiot announced, Jelani Watkins, guys that haven't played all that much this past season. Ahmad Bro is your first true contributor to hit the portal. The 6'3", 278 defensive lineman, totaled 36 tackles in his 2 years with the Tigers and appeared in 24 games in these last two seasons with 2 years of eligibility left. Look, he stepped up big time when LSU needed it last season. Ahmad Bro did. That defensive tackle room was slim in 2024, especially when Jacoby and Guillory went down. And Ahmad Bro came in as a defensive end out of high school, out of Ruston, and transformed his body to become a defensive tackle, stepped up in a role where LSU needed him, and played here and there. He played a big role this season. Even though that room got deeper, Jacoby and Guillory coming back and stepping up, adding Bernard Gooden, the growth of Dominic McKinley, and then obviously Ahmad Bro as well. There was good depth in that room, good rotation, and we'll see where Ahmad Bro ends up. But that is the first real contributor that you've seen from this roster hit the portal, and we'll kind of see how that shakes out as well. In other news, some of the LSU staffers that are coming over with Ole Miss, with Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss, will coach Ole Miss in the college football playoff. We will talk about that as well. Don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by our lovely sponsors, CAS Roofing and Advising, AJ Sports Cards, all about holiday lighting and all about inflatables, F45, Red Stick Spice, everybody that takes care of us to keep us rocking and rolling. Go-Mart and Wardo's out there in Natchez as well. And every single day we're live here from Southern Regional Medical Center. Shout out to the crew there.
Also working on sponsorship with Enron.
Okay.
They're making a comeback.
There we go.
It's time to get back in the market.
There you go.
Time heals all.
You're working on that?
Yep.
You behind closed
Behind the
doors?
scenes, I'm
What
an
company
early investor.
What company is that? What do they do?
Nothing now. It's one of the most famous like scams of all
Right,
time.
right.
They were like a
It was like accounting fraud.
yeah,
and
it was like a shell company that was for
executive
something else,
misconduct.
and a
They
ton
got-
of people invested in it and lost all
So
their
you're
money.
making a joke.
Yes.
That one cleared right over my head.
It's okay. Look up Enron.
That's right. A lot of things clear over
You'll
my
learn.
head.
You would enjoy learning about Enron. Actually, it seems right up your alley. The things you like. To read
Corruption?
about. Right.
Corruption,
But
embezzlement, fraud.
talking
Love
about
that.
these transfer portal moves, this is what we're going to talk about really for the next month, right? I mean, like we said, the window is January 2nd to 16th, and you heard Lane talk about it last Monday. When he was in his press conference for his introduction to LSU, he said, "I wish I could get on the phone right now." And then on Sunday he posts a picture on his Instagram story that's got the portal window dates on it and talks about he can't wait. And how big of a window that's going to be for LSU. That is going to be kind of the, outside of the bowl games and the playoff, what this part of the Lane Kiffin chapter at LSU is going to be built around is, okay, who do they lose, who do they add, right? Because I would assume this won't be the last of who from this current roster hits the portal. They will continue to evaluate the roster, try to hold on to who they can, but some players committed to certain coaches that might not be here, and things are going to continue to shake up. But on top of that, you're also going to have to build your roster, which is going to be done through the portal. And one of the things that I wanted to do today, to include everyone here in the room, but as well as you guys in the chat, was look at the position groups, evaluate the bodies in the room, including the guys that have hit the portal, and look at spots that they're really going to have to be portal heavy going into 2026. Obviously, starting at the quarterback position, I don't think it takes too much research to understand what LSU has in that spot. Obviously, that room consisted of Garrett Nussmeier, Michael Van Buren, Colin Hurley, and then Jawan Johnson, who's also in the running back room. Nussmeier is gone, and Van Buren said his plan was to stick around. We'll see how that goes, but I do think that it is very likely Van Buren is not the guy for LSU next season. I think there was a lot of excitement around him. You saw flashes of things that he can do, but overall, what you saw from him in those final 3 games was not very pretty. There's a couple of examples. Didn't play particularly well against Western Kentucky, where you only score 13 points. And then against Oklahoma, there were a handful of plays there to be made that weren't. And that is also a part of a bigger issue that's being solved. The offense wasn't conducive with success. And so for him, it's hard to be successful when the offense is just that bad around you. And so it's not specifically a Van Buren issue. But I think when you look at the quarterback room, I feel like it's a pretty safe bet, LSU's quarterback in 2026 will be a transfer portal addition. They might even add 2 out of the portal going into next season. That is the most important move to be made this offseason is what LSU gets out of the portal, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And I got into a bit of I'm in these. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in these group chats that I don't know anybody in. But sometimes, I'll poke the bear. I'll get in there and get out. I'll KD it. I'll talk my shit and leave. But they were talking about Frank Wilson, and it's not that if he were to leave, it's not that big of a loss. It's funny what you can talk yourself into, right? And he was saying that his running back rotation is trash. And I was like, how can you make that evaluation when you don't even know what the offense was as bad as it was? I don't think you can blame. I don't think it mattered who was in the game at those points. That's not why you struggled offensively. It's because the wrong running back was in. They're both good, or all three are good. And so I don't think you would look back and evaluate a game and go, oh, it's because Frank didn't put the right guy in. I was like, so I think it was more of a bigger issue of what you're speaking to is what Lane Kiffin's going to do,
right?
Which I would imagine is fix the offense. And so I don't think that had anything to do. I think people point to one fumble by Juwan Johnson. Go, why was he in the game then? He'd been your short yardage back all year. Like Caden Durham has had moments. He's been injured, but that's who you'd want to see in. But you never know. But you don't know what's going on the sidelines. You don't know what they're dealing with at that certain moment where it's like, well, Caden can't go right now. Juwan, you're in. Like those are things we don't have answers to.
Right.
But as a whole, I think it was pretty evident that when you played Caden Durham, okay. When you played Harlan Berry, okay. But he's not the one that's saying, hey, Harlan Berry, when you have, 10 carries for 58 yards, like, he's in the game. I don't make the call to give him the ball. So I don't know how you could blame Frank for that. But now when you look at LSU and what they want to do quarterback-wise, that's why it's hard to evaluate Michael Van Buren.
Right.
Because I don't know. I mean, I've seen games where he played well against Georgia, and that was at Mississippi State. And that's under a coordinator that was once at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin and Levy. That's their offensive mind and the guy that they got because he does offense well.
Right.
And now you look at LSU, you go, well, who's really – I guess you look at the offensive line, you look at the coordinators and the coach, and you go, well, this is just fundamentally broken on that side of the ball. It's hard to evaluate anybody without getting your own eyes on them. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Van Buren's not the guy, or he shouldn't even be allowed to try to win the spot because I don't know what any of the offensive players look like. I know that Aaron Anderson's good. I know that Trey'Dez Green should be getting the ball more.
Right.
Like, I know that Nick Anderson probably wants to come back. What did he have, 10 catches all year? He had 10 catches for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that should be a game.
Couldn't stay healthy.
Right, and we saw that whenever we were going to practice. Like, he was never really fully healthy, but I don't think he came to LSU for that. I don't think Barryon Brown came to LSU for whatever that was.
No.
Now, Bauer Sharp squeezed everything you could out of that lemon. That's who they decided to hitch their wagon to. No shame to Bauer Sharp, but, I mean, there's better options.
If there's one player that you can judge, it's Bauer Sharp.
I mean, hold on to the football, but that's where the LSU offense was. It was like that's who they picked. Like get him the ball.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
okay.
And I think
him enforce it to Juwan.
Because I think there's an aspect of it where you looked at it and like you said, it was fundamentally broken. So you look at the players that were in the room and it's okay. Well, there's still something to work with here, and this is where you kind of sit back and you take the trust Lane approach, right? And we've talked about it consistently on the offensive side of the ball, where it's what Lane wants to do. You sit back and you trust on that side of the ball because he's got the track record. I mean, he's got the reason. Every justification on why you should trust him is there because of what he's done in the past, right? And so, people were asking me about different quarterbacks, that they could go out and get, and I was like, look, there might be guys that I like, guys that I don't like, guys that I've seen play or haven't seen play. If Lane brings a guy in, I trust his eyes, right, and his ability to find talent that fits his scheme, to evaluate who's out there, right? He went and identified a Division II quarterback last offseason, brought him in, and he led a team to an 11-1 record and is in the Heisman race, right? And so now he's not going to get the invite to New York, but that's not.
He didn't get invited.
I don't think. I think it's going to be Mendoza, Pavia, Sayin, Jeremiah Love. I think that'd be it. It'll just be 4, right?
Is it going to be Mendoza?
Probably. I think out of that group it should be Love, but
I do too.
I'm not mad at the Mendoza. I mean, they pitted Mendoza Sayin against each other. It's like, oh, this is Heisman,
it. Yeah.
And they win 13.
Well, would it be like this is if there's ever a year, like with Jacob Martinez from Texas Tech,
stud.
Like he's been the best player in college football.
Right. No, I mean it's last year they did it with
that's the linebacker,
Travis Hunter.
That's the linebacker, yeah.
And so when you look at Lane, that's his track record. He can identify talent. He can get Jackson Dart from USC and turn him into a first-round pick. He can bring Trinidad Chambliss over from Ferris State. He can, help Matt Corral grow into what he was. He knows that position. So whether it's Sam Leavitt, whether it's Trinidad Chambliss sitting in the portal, whether it's any list of names of quarterbacks that it could potentially be, C.J. Bailey from NC State, go down the list of all the hypotheticals, right? Whoever Lane decides is his guy, I'm of the mindset where he has earned in his history of being a college football coach to sit back and say, I trust you. I trust you to make that decision. I trust whoever you bring in, right? And so I personally, I think when you look at this situation in that room, I think Michael Van Buren was put in a very, very rough situation, but I don't think he, this past season, showed the accuracy that it would take to be successful in Lane's system, right? He does have the talent and the ability, and he can grow and develop, but you're going to go get a quarterback out of the portal. The next position room is the running back room, and this is one of the more interesting groups to talk about because of the Frank Wilson situation, right? You, as of right now, do not have the running back coach from Ole Miss coming over with Lane. It's been said that that's likely to happen. You know, obviously he was at FAU with Lane. He was at Ole Miss with Lane. So that's his guy, right? And you know Lane would like to bring him over. Will he be coming over? Hasn't been officially announced yet. And obviously the guy who has been LSU's running backs coach is Frank Wilson. So that's kind of left this up in limbo a little bit where, okay, do you keep Frank? Are you bringing your guy in? Do you have another spot to put Frank? And it's just created this entire situation. But when you look at the bones of the running back room, it consists of Caden Durham, Harlan Berry, Jawan Johnson. That's been really your three-man rotation. Now, there's still JT Lindsey out there with question marks. I personally, I said it back when it happened. I didn't think he would take a snap with LSU. And so as of right now, we'll leave the room with those three guys. Jawan Johnson is a guy that's never gotten to spend an entire offseason at one position. He early enrolled in 2024, I believe. Started as a defensive back, played the star position, played corner, played safety, and then the season got there and he swapped to running back. Okay, he spends the whole year at running back, gets to the spring, he's playing quarterback, right? He spent the whole spring at quarterback because Colin Hurley got in a car accident and was injured. Spends the entire spring at quarterback. Well, Hurley comes back at the beginning of fall camp, and who was it? JT Lindsey gets in trouble, right? So then you move Jawan back to running back. So this is a guy that's never spent an entirety of an offseason at one position, which sucks, right? You know, this is a guy that's extremely talented, and more credit to him, the job he's done. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how that shakes up this offseason if he stays at running back. He's been very vocal about wanting to play the quarterback position. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out. I think the bigger question marks are around Harlan Berry and Caden Durham. Two guys that were recruited by Frank Wilson, are Frank Wilson guys. Harlan Berry's dad went to high school with Frank Wilson. Caden Durham was the only running back recruited by Frank Wilson in that 2024 class. Walked into Frank's presser after the Arkansas game to hug him. You know, these are Frank Wilson guys, okay? Not only was he their lead recruiter, he was their position group coach. And so with Frank Wilson being up in limbo, you also have some question marks around the likelihood of those guys sticking around. And me and Lloyd got into this conversation off the show yesterday, off air, talking about the running back room. Because, like I said, there are question marks around it. Personally, I think they're going to go out in the portal. They're going to add. I think if you bring over your running backs coach, you're going to try to get Keywan Lacey over from Ole Miss. And then you'll see who else enters. I think there was a guy from Texas that entered the portal yesterday, Baxter, a running back out of Texas. C.J. Baxter hits the portal. Now, these are just names that are popping up. There are going to be options, right? I personally think you bring in one, maybe two backs out of the portal. You're not adding one in this high school recruiting class, just like you're not adding a quarterback currently. So you're going to want to build that depth through the transfer portal. When I look at this current room, like I said, the questions are around Harlan Berry and Caden Durham. And ultimately, the question is around Frank Wilson and what that looks like. In my mind, when I look at those two guys, even if they didn't leave because of Frank, if you bring Keywan Lacey in or you bring an experienced starting back in, right, like what a Keywan Lacey would be, it's not very possible you hold on to all three of those guys, right? You wouldn't expect if Lacey comes in to keep Lacey, Durham, and Berry. Now, like I said, it's not guaranteed Keywan Lacey comes in, right? Comes to LSU. We'll see how this ends up shaking out. But if you're adding an experienced back out of the portal, not very likely you'll hold on to the back that's added and those two guys. And when you look at that room, Caden Durham would be a true junior next season, right? His money season with only 2 years of eligibility left. Harlan Berry would be a true sophomore. And I think you kind of have to look at this from all different angles, right? If you look at it from the angle of Frank is staying and you don't bring over the running backs coach from Ole Miss, then I think you're in a spot where it probably looks similar to what it did this year, and you add a piece, a depth piece or something through the portal. I think the more likely situation is Frank is gone. You add in the Ole Miss running backs coach. Lane brings his guy over.
And his guy brings his guy.
And if that happens, I think the likelihood is Keywan Lacey likely follows, right? That's who's recruited him. You saw him in the McAfee interview, Lacey and Lane there together. Lane and his offense and Charlie Weiss's offense and the running back, he's got 20-something touchdowns this season. Like,
why would he stay?
I think he would find his way over. So then the conversation comes from, okay, now there's a starting level SEC back that dominated this past season coming into the room, right? And like I said, this is a hypothetical. None of this is happening. We're just kind of laying out the groundwork for what the portal window could look like. So if that happens, and so now you've got a new running backs coach, and he's brought his guy over. You look at Caden Durham, you look at Harlan Berry. In my opinion, you have potential to keep one of them more than the other. And this is just me personally, the way I look at it. Caden Durham is a true junior, right, looking to potentially go into the draft after the season, right, if he has that type of year. And his running backs coach is gone, his lead recruiter is gone. I think he would sit back and he would likely look at the transfer portal and see where that goes. I think Oklahoma would be in the works. Some teams like that closer to home. He went to Duncanville in Texas, right? And so I think if you add Lacey, you change running backs coach. I think Durham, is likely the odd man out, and I think there's potential that Berry also leaves. I personally look at it and I think, if you're Lane Kiffin and you're LSU, right, Harlan Berry's a guy that's from New Orleans, from Louisiana. You sit down with him and you say, look, you're not going to be the go-to guy next year if Lacey comes in. All right, if Lacey's here, Harlan won't be the RB1, right? But there's still going to be opportunity for you. We'll run a two-back system. Lane can work you in as a slot receiver, as two backs out of the backfield, all these different ways that him and Charlie Weiss can make this work. You sit down, you look at the NIL package, you re-up that, and you talk about how you can use Harlan Berry in the way that you'll lay this out for him for the next 2 seasons to make him a top 15 pick in the NFL draft. I think if you do that, there's potential to hold on to him. But I do understand the thought process around if Frank leaves, he likely leaves, and I think that also depends, where does Frank end up? If Frank ends up at an Oklahoma or a Tennessee or a Texas or an Ole Miss, A phone call is obviously going to happen, right?
Florida.
Florida, right? A team that was in the mix. Texas and Florida were both in the top 4 for Harlan Berry outside of LSU.
Well, I think it gives them gives them an opportunity to maybe Jabbar Jalouk. Like, maybe we shouldn't slap people.
Oh, Jabbar Jalouk's already gone. I think they've announced that they're
yeah, I mean, I'm not to say good. I don't want to see anybody lose their job, but I think that's a fireable thing.
Slap
You can't slap a kid in the face and then be like, quick hands, though. If he wants to maybe call Dana White and get into that game,
right,
he'd be, maybe minus 125.
Find a way. Jake Paul is probably looking for an opponent. But
I hope that
Jake Paul.
what's his name? Joshua Jacobs.
Anthony
Josh Jacobs plays running back. I'd
He
also
does.
love to see that fight.
that would be great.
But he's going. I hope
Put
he
him in
makes
the- put him-
some meat out of that man.
Um,
But this is why, I think it is optimistic to think if Frank leaves that Harlan Berry stays, because obviously the relationship that the family has with Frank Wilson, and here is his father talking about it.
His relationship with Frank, you know what I'm saying? That might be the only factor that he's weighed in on is whatever happens, I hope Coach Frank stays. I hope Coach Frank is here with us,
Frank and I had a one-on-one conversation, and I told him I'm giving you my prized possession, and you better take real good care of him and send him back like I'm sending him to you. And he reassured me. He was like, I promise you, I'm gonna take care of him.
Well, I mean, you see the relationship with Frank, and I think that's why it's very likely to believe. But, at the same time, personally, of course, you would love to hold on to the number 1 running back in the country coming out of high school that played and looked very good in his true freshman season. And you think about what he can do if he develops physically and continue to grow and learn the position, right? Especially in an offense like Lane Kiffin's. Like, you look at it and you say, I mean, why? I mean, this could be special, right? And so I personally think there's a way that you can make it work and you can keep Harlan Berry, but I do understand the thought process around if Frank leaves, that's his guy. And I think that, will it be upsetting, right? Yes. If Berry leaves, because frankly, if you lose, one of the best true freshman running backs in the country, that's going to be a sophomore and develop, that was the number 1 running back in the country coming out of high school, it's going to suck, right? That sucks. I think that Kiffin and the LSU boosters, I think you can, even though I don't think it's going to be a money-heavy conversation, but obviously that can sweeten the pot. I think ultimately, if you just look at Kiffin's system and you think you're Harlan Berry, you'd be like, this could be awesome, right? But if he does ultimately leave, the same thing I've said before, and I'll say it again, you trust Lane Kiffin and his guys to identify talent to bring guys in. On the offensive side of the ball, they know what they're doing. They know who they are. They know what their scheme is. They know what their system is. They can bring in the right guys to make that work. That is the position group, in my opinion, that is going to be the most interesting to see kind of play out on the offensive side of the ball. Because I think you kind of have an idea of what some of these other rooms are going to look like. At quarterback, you're going to replace that room. You're going to have a new guy there. At offensive line, what needs to be done in that room, and we'll talk about that in a second as well. At wide receiver, it's also kind of an interesting one, but there's just not as many question marks around it as there is running back. That's the room that I am most interested to sit and watch kind of unfold. Do you bring Kejuan Lacey over? Who leaves from the room? Does Juwan stay as a running back? What else do you add from the portal, right? All of those things. Who's the position coach for that room? It is going to be the most interesting to watch that room kind of unfold. Another one that's going to be interesting is wide receiver, right? Aaron Anderson, I think, has a decision in front of him and what he decides to do. He was a redshirt junior this season, okay, has the option to return, has the option to hit the transfer portal, has the option to leave to go to the draft. That's going to be one of the interesting ones because I do think he had a breakout season, obviously, in 2024. In 2025, up and down with injuries, right? which have been question marks kind of throughout. He got hurt at Alabama in 22. At 23 at LSU, he was up and down with injuries. 24, he's healthy, he breaks out. 25, some more injury questions. So ultimately, I think, Aaron Anderson stays in college football. And I think, you sit and you look at him, you say, okay, well, come back to LSU, run it back. Some other guys in the room, I think Kyle Parker, interesting one to watch. I would love to see Kyle Parker in Lane Kiffin's offense. Destin Hill was a redshirt sophomore. Nick Anderson has the option to return. Obviously, you saw Kylan Billiot and Jelani Watkins hit the portal. You're adding some freshmen as well out of high school. But I do think, once again, that's going to be a position you're going to go into the transfer portal and you're going to add pieces. You've seen LSU do that consistently. It's kind of help build that room through the portal, right? C.J. Daniels, Aaron Anderson was a transfer from Alabama. Kyron Lacey was a transfer from UL. You saw Nick Anderson this season, Barryon Brown, Destin Hill. They've done a lot of work through the portal at this position in the past. And Lane Kiffin also has done a lot of work at that position through the portal in the past. And so I think Aaron Anderson, if he returns what he could look like in Lane Kiffin's offense, special.
That's your biggest selling point, right?
Of course. Kyle Parker, what he could look like in Lane Kiffin's offense, special. If Lane Kiffin sits and identifies that he wants those guys to return, that's the pitch to them. Look at what I can do for you, right? Look at the offense that I've put out on the field at these other stops for these other guys, and how your skill set could fit into this at the wide receiver position. But I do think you're going to add a handful of receivers out of the portal. You're losing some experience. Xavion Thomas, Barryon Brown, Chris Hilton. Guys that have had experience.
That was sharp.
That's the tight end. We'll get there. But you're losing some experience at the wide receiver spot, so you're going to want to add some more experienced guys. But if you can hold on to a Kyle Parker and Aaron Anderson, add a couple more pieces, got these young guys that are coming in, it's going to be a very good room.
I think Nick Anderson's a part of that conversation also, because as highly talented as he was coming in, he didn't put up anything to make him go, I'm going to the NFL. And he was obviously often injured, didn't really put up much tape. So that would either be I'm getting processed out, or there's going to be a huge pitch to stay. Because, right. You saw the talent. Obviously, we hang on to these years where people perform, right? You go back and look and you go, oh, man, as a freshman, he scored 10 touchdowns and was Oklahoma's best weapon. And I see that version of it, but it's been 2 years since that happened. We did this for 4 years with Chris Hilton, where it was, man, when it's good, it's great.
You're banking on potential.
Right, you're banking on potential. And same thing with what you do with, looking to different positions of guys that have left, because you see, Kylan Billiot leave. You see
Jelani Watkins.
Jelani Watkins go. And now, so you do look at the room and you go, how many people are left? And who wants to stay? And now your biggest selling point is Lane Kiffin and his offense, but also you have Lane Kiffin's entire staff,
right,
essentially in Oxford.
Yep.
Four current LSU offensive assistants are joining offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr. at Ole Miss to prepare the team for the CFP run. Tight end coach Joe Cox, wide receiver coach George McDonald, assistant QB coach Dane Stevens, and slot wide receiver coach Sawyer Jordan are all returning to Oxford this morning. Very interesting, this dynamic, how it's all played out. But I wonder if, obviously, they don't let Lane return. And I don't know if he's playing a game with Ole Miss right now because he's not being able to coach. You could take, I'll try to help you guys out, take Charlie Weiss. And Charlie Weiss looks around and goes, we still don't have any coaches.
Right.
I'm one person that we're trying to get ready for a college football playoff game. Where's my wide receivers coach? Where's my tight end coach? Where's my quarterback coach? How much can a one man do?
Right. No, they needed the staff back to be able to get anything done.
Right. So I guess we should have seen this along the way of
right.
What? Oh, he'll call the plays. Well, they still have to practice. And I would imagine he got there. They line up for first day of practice. It's all GAs. It's Christian running. Oh, you want to be a wide receivers coach? Here's your chance. It's
right.
You don't know what the fuck you're doing. And then Weiss is looking around. Why am I here? We can't get anything done. And so you make the call again. And it's like, can we bring the rest of the people back? So, like, it's interesting that Lane could have been, I'm saying he comes out like a golden boy here. He looks very good because it'd be very easy to do the opposite, right? Be like, no, we got on the plane, you're staying.
It's weird enough that Ole Miss is letting these guys come back.
Except for one, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. It is a
Every other program.
a very intriguing situation, just kind of how it's all unfolded.
Pete Thamel continues to report, Lane Kiffin made the decision to allow the coaches to return in an effort to help new Ole Miss coach Pete Golding, the staff and players maximize the opportunity ahead in the CFP. There had already been a decision to let Weiss return made last week. I just find this dynamic. What's Lane's angle?
Right. Well, I don't think there's an angle, right? I think, like, for Lane, I think ultimately it just comes down to I genuinely think
he wants to see him do well.
He wants to see them do well. Like, I don't think he holds anything against them for the way it went down. I think he's probably upset he doesn't get to coach them. But, I mean, that's against the athletic director, right? And so if you're upset with the AD and the way he handled it, you don't take that out on the players.
Right.
Right. So if he would hold the coaches hostage and say, no, you can't use it, that's taking it out on these kids that he's recruited, right? And a lot of them, probably he's going to want to bring over. And so I don't think it's going to be this kind of behind-the-scenes spy type deal where he's sending these guys in to be operatives and be like, hey, this is what it looks like. This is like what this is what's going on at LSU. We'd love for you to join. I don't think it's going to be played out like that, but
put yourself in their shoes, though.
Of course that's going to like those things are going. That's going to, but ultimately, I think it's just like olive branch. My guys you're gonna get coached. You're gonna get an opportunity to go beat Tulane, make a run at Georgia, and see what you can do in this whole thing, right? Because if that doesn't happen and Lane's the big bad man that's keeping their coaches away from them and screws up their whole opportunity, well, why would I want to follow him, right? Because that's where Lane could change the narrative around it. Instead of, I really wanted to coach him, but now that I can't, I'm going to take it out on them and keep my coaches over here. Instead, coaches go handle business. Charlie call plays. Joe handle the tight ends. McDonald go do what you need to do with the receivers. Get that taken care of. Beat Tulane. See what you can do against Georgia and see where it goes.
Or he says, take all those guys. It's me. Like, look, I gave you everything.
Well, and that's also,
and look what you don't have, and you lay an egg. He's like,
I also think that there's not. That's what with him sending them, allowing them to go over there. There's no way it comes back looking bad on Lane. Even if they go out and they ball out without Lane, it doesn't look on him negatively. If they go over there and they don't play well, right? It doesn't make Lane look bad, right? That's the only thing that could have made Lane look bad in that situation would have been to say, nope, you don't get them. They're my coaches. They're staying over here.
Which would have been totally reasonable.
Which would have been understandable. But like it would have been looked at, especially probably from the player's perspective, in a negative light of, he just stole everything from us. Every opportunity we have to do this is gone.
But then you would go, would you not say, like, dude, it wasn't me. That's your AD. That's the operation Ole Miss is running over there. Like, why would you want to stay there?
You don't think it's like if Ole
Ole
Miss goes and
no player's going to sit back and be like, oh, no, screw the AD.
Why not? I mean,
because nobody thinks about the AD if you're a player.
Well, yeah, but it'd be like, who did this? Like, it's easy to blame Lane, and that's what's happened. Is everybody just blame Lane Kiffin?
You don't think Lane, like if Tulane bad to Ole Miss, or Ole Miss beats Tulane, then I guess wins the next round. You don't think that's going to look negatively on Lane?
No, he's going to look at the staff I have.
Is going to talk only
of course, that's going to be the spin, right? They're going to spin it to, they didn't need Lane. He's not that good of a coach.
Right.
Well, it's going to be like,
that's going to be negative, though.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm very comfortable in what Lane Kiffin.
Then who on the offensive side of the ball got it done?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter.
No, I'm asking you right now. Like who? Okay, if they did without Lane, if they win the game, who on the offensive side of the ball got it done?
Well, it's going to go back to the players and the coaches.
Right. Who are the offensive coaches? LSU's coaches.
Lane's guys.
Right. So all of those guys that got the job done, congratulations, they did it without Lane. They're still following him, right? They're still going to LSU. They're LSU's coaches.
I understand, but I still think they're going to be like, Lane was.
You can spin it negatively, right?
Lane should have stayed.
But the guys that got the job done are also at LSU,
Or what if you could look at it the other way also? This is a fun little brain exercise. So what if they do go lay an egg, and then LSU fans would be like, why do we need any of those guys? They can't even.
Of course, no. Lane wants them. Lane wants them. Like I'm trying to instill that into my mind and everyone's mind offensively. Is like, if it's who Lane wants, he's earned the right to say that's who he wants.
You kind of have to look at it like Sean Payton. I trust it. You know?
Trust
it. This is his third 8-8 season in a row. Just all right, let him cook.
Who?
Sean Payton.
8-8.
Yeah, I mean he was. They were mediocre for.
I thought you were talking about now. I was like, they're like
no,
they're
leading, but like they were mediocre. Now that's the process.
That's what he does. They are very similar.
They are.
Yeah.
And then I think when you look at the defensive side of the ball, you have some position groups that are also very intriguing. The defensive line group, the edge rusher group, the linebacker group, and the safety position. I really think the one that you're confident in, probably the position group you're most confident in totality,
is the D-line now.
Is the cornerback room. I think more than anything.
I don't know what you just added on the D-line.
Yeah, but I mean, it's true freshmen. It's very enticing that they're true freshmen.
It's true, but they're also
at the cornerback
as
position,
highly ranked as you can be, and you bring back, like, lest we forget,
Don McKinley,
Gabriel Rutherford gets to come back.
Right,
they're going. End. You're right, and they'll go to the portal. And they'll find edge rushers again.
Of course.
Like these, and this is I think this is the most, what's the way to say this? Like, I can see the path, I can see why it's just different at LSU and Lane Kiffin's methodology of working the transfer portal. You have proven results of them doing it in whether it be the SEC or just in college football in general. And you go, like we were kind of talking about last week, whatever, this was kind of, I don't know, it's in limbo as to what's going to happen with LSU's recruiting. It's like, well, how big of a deal is this? Because now you can go into the portal.
Right.
And I think LSU's mindset needs to shift to that way. Because what do you think of, what would you say, was the juice worth the squeeze? Was the money worth it for what LSU did in the transfer portal this year? Like if you're a donor, if you were to give.
I mean, like ultimately the results of the season, no, right? Because you wanted more. But your money and where it was spent out of the portal, especially on the defensive side of the ball, was money well spent, right? Like I don't think there were all that many misses in where you spent the money, right? I mean, I think the two most expensive players were Mansour Lane and A.J. Halsey. And you got All-Americans, right? I think Bernard Gooden was an expensive piece because the spring window was always the more expensive window.
Oh yeah,
he was worth the money, right? I think Patrick Payton, he maybe wasn't the game wrecker you spent. Defensively, you became an elite defense with the money you spent and the players you added, right? The money you spent to retain Garrett Nussmeier, maybe not money well spent, right? The way it ended up shaking out. The money on the offensive line, I think the two guys you paid for were decent. I just think it was a broken group. The money you spent at wide receiver, maybe a different conversation. The money you spent at tight end, you didn't really get the squeeze back from that. So offensively, I still think you can look at it under the situation of that was really just fundamentally broken. And so my money wasn't spent wrong, right? Like wasn't money,
wasted,
badly spent. It's just that it didn't work because of the coaching staff, the situation, those things. Defensively, the money was spent extremely well. I mean, I think that even though the guys maybe didn't have the numbers, I don't think Pyburn or Payton had the numbers you expected. But I think Pyburn, Payton, Butler, I think it all worked extremely well. It gave Blake Baker the pieces to be as good as he is.
And that's when you go and look at, coaching really does matter, huh?
And so I think that, along with Lane has proven this before, the excitement is raised. That's why they have the NIL budget they do, right, to go out in the portal and spend it.
Because there is one position group, and I do think there's a conversation around Braylon Moore if he comes back or not, right? He didn't really get to play a healthy season. He has another year of eligibility. I think when he did play, he played well, and I think that he would be somebody that you would want to go back to the well. Obviously, he came here for a reason. It would be interesting to see if that's the route that LSU, because now it's entirely new regime, right? So they're going to reevaluate and maybe have different grades, or maybe
they're going to reevaluate everything.
The most important position, we may have buried the lead here a little bit, LSU needs one thing very badly. There's one piece out there that just entered into the portal. Is that your first pick if you were able to draft, let's say, the quarterback position? You see what Levitt enters the portal from Arizona State.
Well, that's what I said earlier.
Right, but now I'm saying like that becomes. I mean, I feel like if you just asked any casual college football fan, you see Levitt and you see LSU and you see Lane Kiffin, you go,
right.
Would you rather him, Trinidad Chambliss, or what's the Austin Simmons? If you had your pick of the three, obviously Lane has an inside track on the Ole Miss guys.
Give me TJ Finley.
I think you're going to take.
He'll be in the portal.
I think you're going to take two. I think you get two quarterbacks out of the portal.
What and
what lower caliber, one higher caliber?
Right, like go get a starter and you'll get it. Well, you need
right.
You need bodies. You don't have bodies.
Get another
right?
Van Buren.
If Van Buren, I mean, Van Buren ultimately right now would be your backup. He potentially can leave. Right.
That's two mosquitoes.
You want 3 scholarship guys in the room.
Right.
You know? As of right now, you would right now you have 1, and you add a quarterback out of the portal, you have 2. And so then it would become a situation of kind of where you're at right now where, you bring in Trinidad, he gets hurt, Van Buren's in, you have no backup.
I kind of want Levitt because he quit on his team like Lane.
He didn't quit on the team.
No, I know, but Levitt got
hurt. But I do
hurt
think that was interesting that he left because Kenny Dillingham stayed, and Dillingham
it'll be
was
interesting to see kind of the situation with Levitt, and you didn't really get to see him in the offense without Scattaboo. Right, like that's my one caveat to Levitt because I do think he's very talented. Is like, okay, well, what does it look like without a dominant running back that does everything? Like when you go back and you watch that Texas game that I think a lot of people's eyes go to, where they played extremely well against Texas in the college. No, I think my situation, my take on it is, if Lane looks at Levitt and says,
yes,
I think he fits exactly what Lane would look for, and so that's why it makes sense. And so if Lane looks at it, sees the same thing I see, with his trained eye and says, that's what I want, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to say, go ahead. Right? I'm going to let, and I saw someone say it in the chat as well, like, let the chef choose his ingredients and cook, right? So let Lane not only cook, but let him choose the ingredients he's going to use, right? So you sit back and maybe we get upset because somebody we wanted to stay doesn't get retained and gets processed out. Kenny Darby's an example. I was a really big fan of Kenny Darby. I thought he was an extremely talented player. We'll see how it shakes out. If Lane wants to process him and go get the guy from LCA, got it. Like if Lane wants to go and get a quarterback out of the portal that's maybe not the one I would have picked,
let him cook.
So be it. If he wants to rebuild that wide receiver room and he processes Nick Anderson or Kyle Parker, and I'm like, well, why'd you let him, right? That's kind of the situation that you're in right now.
Like I said, we're victims.
Of course.
So we're quick to almost raise an eyebrow to everything that's done now. And it's like, we gave somebody the keys to the house and you came home and you're like, what did you do?
Right.
Like, this is not what it's like you've seen the video of the guy that was asked to redo the bathroom and he decided he needed to hurricane-proof the house. Remember when I showed you that with all the wood?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's that.
Yeah.
Like, Brian Kelly, this is not what I asked you to do.
Right.
You're not getting paid for this, but you are. But now I'm hesitant to hand the keys over again because the last time we did this, nothing worked. And so I think that's how some people look at it of like, hold on, you're kind of – because I think that we still have a certain like pillars of what we consider to be success at LSU and how to get there.
Right.
And I still think that when people buck against that, it becomes, okay, let's see if you want to do it your way. All right.
Right.
There's this way that works, but we'll see. And obviously I think when you look at what Brian Kelly did before he got to LSU, people would go, let him do whatever he wants. He's a proven winner. He knows how to do this. You give him LSU's resources. Why not? He just actively didn't want to coach. So now you go Lane Kiffin, same bit of recent history of, man, if you give him LSU's resources, look what he's done at Ole Miss. Let him have the keys to the kingdom. And I think people are hesitant to that because of what just happened. But I think you have to trust Lane Kiffin, which is a bizarre statement to make because nobody does.
Nobody ever has.
And when you do,
that happens.
He burns you. But now it feels, for some reason, whether it be the vote of confidence by Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin has matured. He's always up at 4 a.m. I don't know where he gets all the energy.
Well, and I think
it is like you have to, right?
When you compare the scars from BK to what's going on with Lane, there's key pieces of context, right? Kelly did it at Notre Dame, Lane's done it at Ole Miss in the state next to you, right? So geographically and even conference-wise, it's different. The other piece is when we sat and we looked at, okay, this should work with Brian Kelly where you bring in the players, give him the talent, he should be able to make this work. He had a process and things that worked for the old era of college football. The second he got here, it all changed.
Mm-hmm.
Lane has a proven track record in this era of the sport. The way the sport works right now is where Lane's been successful. So he understands how it currently works. And so that is the context that when you sit back and you go, wait, what's Lane doing? He's not following the blueprint that we've seen work. The piece of context is that blueprint worked in a different era of college football. And I'm not saying it can't work now, right? But it's a different time. And I think the current construct that you're seeing Lane operate under right now is what's going to be very similar to in the future.
Right.
You go get a handful of wide receivers out of the state of Louisiana high school recruiting. You get the top players out of Louisiana in high school recruiting. You load up on elite 11, 12, 13, 14 elite guys from the state. You cherry pick a couple from around, the country, but you get 15 elite guys out of high school, right? You make sure you hit on the best names in the state. You make sure you get the Lamar Browns and the Richard Andersons. You hold on to those guys, and then you load up in the portal, right? So that if you can get 15 guys out of high school and you hit on half of them, right, that's 7 guys that you can bring in and say, okay, these are very, very good pieces that are going to develop through our program, right? And then you fill up through the portal where when you need to fill spots and you need to build your roster, you can do so. And so I think when you look at the way Lane Kiffin's doing it, is it different than what it's always been? Yeah. I mean, in the past, Kenny Darby doesn't get the opportunity to. No, doesn't get processed. You just bring in Darby and Allen from LCA. You just bring in both Louisiana receivers, right? That you don't give some of these guys the opportunity to go elsewhere. You don't process in-state talent. What's his name that went to that flipped to Ole Miss, the offensive lineman from Warren Easton, right? He doesn't get processed and go somewhere else. He ends up at LSU, right? That has changed. You bring in, you handle business on the top in-state talent. You cherry pick from around the country some other spots. Then you go fill up through the portal. That's what it's going to look like.
Oh, no.
And I think that's where – and I think the defensive line position is the place you're going to see that the most this year, where you went and you stacked up in high school recruiting with Henderson and with Geralds and Brown and Anderson, right? Those guys, especially to me, Richard and Lamar, are going to be like game one, like they're going to play. You've still got some other pieces with a Bud Mathis and a Dominic McKinley and a Brandon Brown and Zion Williams, those pieces there that you're going to develop. I still think you're going to go get 1 or 2 experienced veteran guys out of the portal at that spot.
Do you think that they do? How would you evaluate the offensive line? Like if you ranked position groups of
need
that LSU needs.
Quarterback, offensive line, 1, 2. I think the fact that the quarterback's the most important position in the sport, and you don't have one, you got to go get it. Outside of that, the next most important thing you need to do is go get an offensive line. I think there might be some pieces over at Ole Miss potentially, but I think you're going to build through the portal. There's some pieces you hold on to. I think Kerry's Kern is a guy I'd love to keep. I like the mentality he plays with. I think he's extremely talented, and I see the potential. Ori Williams, I liked what I saw, right? Cohen Eccles showed some really good he was a redshirt freshman, showed some bright spots. We'll see what the Braylon Moore situation looks like, but I think a guy like Weston Davis, I don't know, Tyree Adams I like, but I think that room you're going to have to add pieces regardless if you have a whole new 5 next year. You still need to go add pieces because you need to breed competition. That room did not get the job done with what's currently in there.
Because if you were to look at LSU's offensive line just on paper, you'd go, how are they bad? And then you point to...
Did I call him Weston Banks or Weston Davis?
I don't
Weston
know.
Davis.
I did? I got it right? Okay, good. Continue.
I
I never know.
Yeah, it just leaves my
just
mouth.
say
I was
Weston.
listening. I was
Yeah.
listening.
Thank you.
Wanks.
But like if you looked at LSU's offensive line on paper, you have 3 5-stars that you have guys that are 6'6", 330 pounds,
Right.
and they all look like
or
they
he's
all
6'8".
right. And you'd be like, why aren't you good? And it's
Well, I think DJ Chester's the biggest mystery because he
right,
plays
right.
whole
But they're all
freshman
these
year.
are all 5-star guys that if you recruited, you would say. Offensive line, like if you just walked in the building, if you were Jerry Jones, you'd be like, room looks great.
Jerry.
And so that's where I wonder if it becomes a scheme issue where you bring in an offensive line coach who's been everywhere and has made successful offensive lines at Kentucky. He's been around the block, he's been in the NFL. He knows Alabama. He knows what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering if hold on, because I do think people always look at it from how it's going to be received from the fan base's perspective, because that's the loudest voice in the room that sometimes is the wrongest voice in the room, right? So it could be the most wrong. But it is the loudest, and it is something that kind of does create a narrative around whatever you're trying to do at LSU. It's because, you better prove them wrong,
Right.
because people are very much quick to judge. So if they don't really bring anybody in offensive line-wise, because they're all young guys, and they're all now have playing experience, and they're all size-wise fit the bill, is it an offensive line goes, no, these are great bones. It's just the scheme didn't work. And I would wonder if you don't. I mean, I'm sure they'll bring in pieces, right?
No, they will. Yeah,
But
they're going to. No, I do
think that you evaluate that. It's hard to evaluate that offensive line without seeing it with somebody else.
Right. I don't think it's going to be a clean wipe, like a complete replacement of the room. Like I don't think it's going to be, hey, all of you hit the road.
That sucked. Y'all go.
Bring in a whole new. I don't think that's going to be the case, right? I do think there's potential in that room with some of those pieces. Like I said, Ori Williams, Carius Kern, Cohen Eccles. Like there are pieces in that room that I do. Tyree Adams that are really solid. That's 4 guys right there that all got to play, right? That all can be in different spots. Kern had to play tackle a good bit. I really like Kern at guard. Right, didn't even get the opportunity to play it, really. Tyree Adams got hurt, played a decent left tackle, some spots, but you need to go bring in 3-4 guys to really breed competition in that room and to give yourself an opportunity. But I do think, a coach could come in and say, actually, we can go Tyree Adams and Ori Williams left and right tackle with Eccles and Kern at the guard spots. Find a center and bring in some other pieces. I think there's potential for that room to not be completely, restocked. But you've got to revamp it. You've got to add to it. It does need to be, given some extra love. Because you just watched a year where it just wasn't good enough.
And here's you get a little package deal.
Potentially. Shout it off to Set It Off Sports Network. There are pieces out there, and I think you add 3-4 guys.
Look at you can't see the top comment.
No, what does it
LSU
say?
with Levitt. I love being in the conversation all the time.
No, that's what it's going to for offensive. When offensive guys hit the portal, that's going to be the conversation. It's like, oh, they're going to LSU with Lane Kiffin.
And now,
You know?
and then Arizona State has been very kind to LSU over the years.
Yes, they handed us a Heisman quarterback. They cleaned out his locker for him. We appreciate that. Get him here as soon as possible. But defensively, I think there are some spots where cornerback, you're in a good spot. Safety, you're probably going to add some talent there. Linebacker, very intriguing. Hold on to Whit Weeks, get him to return. You've got Devon Keys, you've got Tylen Singleton, you've got that freshman class from last year, which was very good. That was the only position they didn't add in the portal last season. And so we'll see what it ends up shaking out. It's nice to be in a spot, right, where when you talk about all the offensive side of the ball, you sit back and you say, well, you trust whoever Lane brings in. He's got the track record to do so, right? And then on defensive ball, it's the same conversation. Like, oh, well, guess what? I can trust what Lane's going to do over there, and I can trust what Blake's going to do over there. You are sitting in a spot now at LSU that last season you were not in. You could not sit back and say, I can trust what's going on, right? You can like what's going on. I like that they were spending money and they were going and getting talent. And I like the pieces they brought in. But could you really trust Joe Sloan and his offense, right? Could you really trust Brian Kelly and his process, right? I don't know, right? Some could, some couldn't, right? Lloyd never trusted the man from the jump. Now you're sitting in a spot where there is a proven track record on both sides of the ball of success. And so the pieces they identify and they bring in, they've got the money, they've got the resources, and now you trust the guys that are identifying the talent. That is a win. And that's why there is so much confidence going into 2026.
And this is a man that in, 4 years at Ole Miss? Or the last 4 seasons at Ole Miss, Kiffin has produced 4 top 4 transfer portal classes. So he's going to do it.
Yes, it's going to happen.
And you have to go get another.
And LSU also in 2 of those years had 2 top 3 portal classes, 2022 and 2024. I mean 25.
Getting to the coaching matters, because I do think that I thought everybody expected the offense to go the opposite way in which it did. You thought you were going to get better. You have Joe Sloan as a second-year play caller now. You saw some good, some bad, but then you were, but it's Garrett Nussmeier's first year starting as well. It's like, okay, year 2, they make the jump. And he Matt Housed you.
Oh, it was
got
disgusting.
So much worse.
Right.
And I think that was
when the talent
got better. It's going to be one of the more mind-numbing things to go over whenever you look at LSU's history of, like, what happened there. Like, Garrett Nussmeier was through through 300 yards 5 times. Then he didn't score 24 points
ever.
And I thought they were going to be good.
Thought it was going to be a shootout.
I thought that you would marry the complementary football. And now you have the opportunity to run it back. And by run it back, I mean you unplugged player 1 and got a new guy. And, like, you're out.
Thank God.
Sub him in.
No, now you look at it and you see complementary football. Like, I'm sitting there right now and I see, without even knowing the players on the field, I see the minds and the coaches and say, complementary football. Lane Kiffin, Blake Baker.
I think Blake Baker saw the same thing, where he had the option to obviously go be a head coach. And if you listen to his interview with OTB, like, it was very much a peek behind the curtain of his mind, where he did not shy away from the fact that he wants to be a head coach one day. And if that's the case, this was very much maybe a perfect opportunity for you to dip your toe in the water.
Right.
Where you could go to Tulane, you'll have a little bit of, first of all, like, optimism. Second of all, you'll have a little bit of leeway because you played there. Third of all, Tulane wants it to happen because they want you to succeed.
Right.
The only real con of it all is the expectation after Tulane has been able to knock the 2 hires out of the park.
Right.
And then it became, we're in the college football playoff. You're going to replace a college football playoff coach, and their expectation is it now the college football playoff every year? Or, like, if we can do this group of 4 thing, like, we should always be in. That's where people go, right? That's like, we did it this year, we should do it every time.
Right.
And so that would be, like, the con. But then if you're Blake Baker, because I very much think that if Brian Kelly was still the head coach, he's leaving.
Yes.
Like, there's no world in which At least in my
100%.
mind, where he'd be like, "Yeah, I'll sign me up for that again." That wasn't
Look what
frustrating
the-
at all.
Look what the defense looked like against Texas A&M. What that's an example of is, man, that was the straw that broke camel's back. Like this can't keep being the process. You can't keep. It was 18-16 at halftime, and the LSU had 2 interceptions in that game and a punt block. You know what I mean?
Here's
Like
the ball again.
right? Like, how many times do I have to do that? And then guess what? They gave up a special teams touchdown. They go 3 and out. They go 3 and out, give up a punt return, go 3 and out again. Then on the defense, it's just like how much more can I do? And that was really the example of, because after that, when the page was turned and Kelly was fired, there was a new energy, there was new life, and it was a completely different defense.
But and he talked about that too, where he said, like, what happened? Because he talked to the, obviously talked to his team and talked to the defense after. And like, Coach, we saw 30 on the board, and we're like, we have to make a play. And It's like, okay. And this is what he said, and this is the saddest thing I've ever heard from trying to get a mentality out of your team. He's like, look, this is what we're not going to do. We're not going to look at the scoreboard because one side, it probably isn't going to change. So we have to make sure the other side doesn't change. Like, so we're just not even going to look at it. And to know that they're not going to put up any points, fellas. And so we're just not even going to look until the game is over, and hopefully we look up and we win. But that's a tough mentality to have to adopt of, we can't do everything. We can't try to make every play available because now we end up giving up big plays.
Right.
And that's a level of frustration to which I do not envy for anyone, to be like, we have to make, like, because in the back of your mind, you're still going, we have to get a stop every time.
Right. And now you sit across the table. From
And
Lane
it became where, like Rose said it, where it's like, Harold Perkins, you need to score.
Right. And so now you sit across the table from Lane Kiffin and you discuss your future, and it's like,
oh,
Lane's, he's got his PowerPoint slides. He's like, he's just showing you all the times that he's had teams that just go score points.
And this is what it looks like when I have a defense.
You're not going to have to worry about holding teams to 10.
You do it
Like,
if you
think
can.
about
And
the
getting 5
right,
interceptions.
But like, if they score
5.
if they score 17 points, you don't have to worry about losing, right? Because that was the case at LSU, where Oklahoma scores 17, you lose. Alabama scores 20, you lose. I mean, you played a game against Alabama where you didn't get in the end zone, right? And we've seen that happen before, many times.
Apparently, it's a fireable offense, as it should be.
It's not the case.
Gosh.
Don't forget, every single day we're brought to you by CAS Roofing and Advising. Our guy, Pierce Patterson from over at CAS. It's not just another roof. It's our reputation at CAS Roofing and Advising. They do great work. I swung by in Prairieville yesterday. They had a job going up, and they were doing a great job on a roof replacement paid for by insurance. So make sure you call 225-910-0619. Pierce will drive on out there, hop up on your roof. If you've got some grit in your driveway coming off your roof, missing shingles, you've got a leak in the house that could be caused by roof damage, or if you just have a roof that's 10 years old or older, call 225-910-0619. Pierce Patterson will hop up on your roof. He'll check it out for you, and he'll let you know if you're in good shape or if you need a roof replacement, and they will walk you through the process. They do great work over there taking care of their homeowners. So don't forget to call 225-910-0619. We will take a quick break here as we've rolled through hour number 2 this morning, and we're getting close to 8:30. We'll come right back with more Tingle Co. right after this.
Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
I'm Tom Granding with Go Mart and Wardo's Po' Boys in Natchez, Mississippi. On behalf of the Granding family, we invite you to run, stroll, or walk in the 4th annual Wardo's Rudolph Roll. Held on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, this holiday event gives a 10K, 5K, and 1 mile kids run. The Rudolph Run supports the Ward Granding Memorial Scholarship, which has awarded over $20,000 to local high school seniors since 2020. Along with the race, enjoy live music, drinks, and of course, po' boys. For more information, check out Wardo's Facebook page. Hope to see y'all there. I'm Tom Granding with Go Mart and Wardo's Po' Boys in Natchez, Mississippi. On behalf of the Granding family, we invite you to run, stroll, or walk in the 4th annual Wardo's Rudolph Roll. Held on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, this holiday event gives a 10K, 5K, and 1 mile kids run. The Rudolph Run supports the Ward Granding Memorial Scholarship, which has awarded over $20,000 to local high school seniors since 2020. Along with the race, enjoy live music, drinks, and of course, po' boys. For more information, check out Wardo's Facebook page. Hope to see y'all there.
All All right, welcome back here as we have approached
Computer cleaner,
this
quit it.
morning.
I don't want you.
You need to get that off.
It makes me nervous.
What?
And we have any desk on here, so anybody can start moving it around.
Lloyd's got viruses on that computer over there.
Are you serious?
I don't know. I just, I watched a video. That sounds bad. I watched a video on Twitter of like these hackers and how they got the virus when there was computer cleaner. And so it just made me think, it's like, I see this every day, and I don't remember putting it on this computer, but it could have been somebody else. And I forgot how he deleted it.
Yeah, well, we got to figure that out.
Yeah, maybe so.
But I do want to get back to the conversation around Lane's coaches coaching Ole Miss this college football playoff run. I saw somebody that was like, and I think it might have been in the chat or it was on Twitter. It was like, do you think now that they've gotten the draw that they've gotten, they're starting to regret the decision they made because they could have really made a run at this thing? Because when you look at the draw they got, like, it's not a bad draw whatsoever. I mean, playing your first two games are against teams you've already played, right? So you literally have film of you against them. And on top of that, you beat one of them. And against Georgia, you played down to the wire. So looking at your draw that you've got, it's a team you beat already in Tulane, right? You go then and set the second round, the quarters. It's a team that you played in Georgia that you went down to the wire against. Now, Georgia's playing really good football right now, but you can still go see what you can make shake. And then after that, you're in the semis and anything can happen, right? Do you think that Ole Miss is looking at the draw they've got and looking at the opportunity at hand that's in front of them with Tulane and with Georgia as their two opponents that are set in stone right now, regretting the decision they made? Like, do you sit there and you look at it if you're Ole Miss and you say, oh, we could really make a push. We can handle business against Tulane, battle against Georgia, get into the semis, and see what can happen. Do you think they regret the decision they made? And they're making a push to get Charlie Weiss back, get the Staffords back, get some bodies back in this room so we can actually make a push at this thing, right? Rather than being big, angry, mad Ole Miss.
Small, angry, mad Ole Miss.
You know what I mean.
Oh, Charlie Oliver. I'm sorry, buddy. 2 claps. Ready. Free my boy. Let's get it. Let's go. $2.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
I know. I'm sorry. Thank you. We'll always respond to a super chat. Despite you could say anything and I'll read it.
That's true for Lloyd. Charlie Oliver 574. Free my boy. Let's get it. Let's go. 2 claps. Ready. Cajun curveball. Derek Queen triple double in a loss. Chrissy.
Yeah, let's switch the convo to that, huh?
2 claps.
Quit talking about Ole Miss.
But do you think, Lloyd, that Ole Miss is looking at their draw and regretting the decision they made?
Yes, absolutely. I've look.
Who do you mean by Ole Miss?
The
fans or the?
No, the AD.
No, the AD that made the decision.
Yeah, I guess I understand if you really feel like. What would you say was the impetus behind the decision to do what they did?
I thought it was so you could get in the mix to go hire a head coach.
Right.
Personally.
So you were very concerned about Pete Golding going somewhere else?
Right. Like, I get the idea behind, like, oh, you don't want LSU's coach in your building. Okay, well, now you've got LSU's offensive staff in your building.
You have more than one person.
That wasn't the problem. So that leads me to believe that the problem really was... I thought it was at the time because you wanted to get John Summerall. Like, you wanted to get in the mix for one of these coaches, and instead you just promote your DC, right? And so really, now that I look at it, now that kind of everything's settled, it's because your feelings were hurt.
Right.
More than anything else. You were upset.
Even if you wanted to hire a different head coach, like the icing on the cake was that you promoted Pete Golding to head coach was, okay, so everything that any point of reference that you would have had to say, this is why we did it, was to get somebody else, so we can have a cleaner interview process, went out the window. Everything now points to, oh, you were in your feelings. Because Lane Kiffin went and left for a school, and Ole Miss went full Ole Miss. They said, you're going to leave for LSU. And now that became the conversation. Well, he's leaving for another. I don't think the rivalry is that. Now it is. But I don't think that was something that people pointed to. It's like, how could you go to a rival school at LSU? I think it's because Ole Miss is here, LSU is here, and it became very well known whenever your coach left to go to a better program, and it's like, nuh-uh, get him out the building.
Right.
And now it's, well, you're in the college football playoff. Would you not want your head coach? And then you look around every other team in the country that has had a similar situation. Guess who's coaching?
Their head coach.
A head coach that's leaving to go to a different
and
school.
Now they're trying to switch it to where LSU's here, Ole Miss is here. Well, Ole Miss is here, LSU's here.
Well, that's the talking point right now.
How? By whom?
I mean, that's what McAfee literally sat on game day and said.
That's what all of.
Because of where they are right now.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, I told you.
They're trying to convince themselves.
Well, no, I told you. McAfee is. He has an axe to grind with LSU because of
but,
the backyard
it's not
brawl.
Just him. Like
but that's the common man's approach to this. If you don't really know, he's new to college football. He doesn't fucking know what actually works.
LSU's not in the playoff, but Ole Miss is, right? That's the take people are making. I think ultimately, like you said, you look around, you see head coaches other places still coaching their teams, and if you're Ole Miss, you've got a chance. If Lane Kiffin was your coach and he was still there, and you were going status quo as is, you can make a run.
I said that,
which I personally didn't think they could, but the draw they got, you 1,000% can.
I just because of the way that college football has shaken out this year, you have as good a chance as anybody. If you get to the tournament, if you get to the dance, it's all bets are off, and then you get the draw that you got. But there's not a team in here that I go, Ole Miss can't beat them, right? Like you would say, okay, maybe. No, like I really, honest to God, think that they have a good chance. Georgia is tough. Then that's your next opponent. But if you had Lane Kiffin and his offense and what you've done,
the top four is tough.
Yeah, sure.
Georgia's really the only one that I would even give some leeway outside of maybe Texas Tech because you've seen them go toe to toe with Georgia.
That's one
before.
Right. And if you can go toe to toe, you can win.
Right.
And it's a neutral site game, which you're used to playing anyway because nobody goes to your football games.
It's Sugar Bowl.
Right. Like, this should have been – Ole Miss will look back on this and have –
Well, it should have been a magical season that you could have just royally screwed yourself.
And they're going to look
back. They're going
to
blame it on Lane.
Exactly.
They're going to blame it on him, right?
Because it couldn't be our fault. We did the right thing. They're convinced they did the right thing, and I do hope they win.
Well, because
I hope they win the national championship. I do.
See, that's where I differ. But
yeah, no.
Because I look at this and I think yes, they can make a run, but I also think there is a difference between Ole Miss, Indiana, Georgia, Ohio State. Like those three are drastically better than Ole Miss is.
I don't know.
No, I want them to lose to Tulane.
I do. Well, even if it's not 45-10, they lost. Because you've already played them and you beat them by 5 touchdowns. And now if you don't do that again, it's clearly it was one person. But
right.
Yeah, obviously.
Clearly. But if you had kept Lane Kiffin, and even if he had agreed to a deal in principle with LSU, and LSU was they played a game of chicken and they won.
Right.
Because if you do what you
which they've never done before.
Right. If you do what you say you were going to do, and allow Lane Kiffin to coach through the college football playoff, and they go on a run. They go to the national championship, maybe win a national championship. Lane looks around and goes, how could I leave this place? Look at everything we've done here. Look at these players. I can't look them in the eye and say, we don't want to run it back next year. That was your only opportunity to keep him. Instead, you kicked him out.
Right.
And now you're trying to spin this tangled web you weaved to, it's his fault. Like, I didn't do anything.
Right.
All I did was take a job. I was trying to stay. And instead, it's become, no. Like,
why you say fuck me for?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wanted to help. I'll help you so much so that I'll send you everybody else. You just won't let me back. I'll come back and do it. Like, y'all won't let me. Fine, take him. What else do you need? How much more can I help you without it being me? And Ole Miss is still going to look around and go, his fault.
Yep.
Like, well, you're the one that kicked him out. And now you've spoiled an 11-1 season, the best season you've ever had, the best season you ever will have, because he's gone.
Right.
And instead of enjoying, what did he try?
Wait,
to do?
hold on.
Enjoy
The
the ride.
future's bright with Pete Golding over there.
Playoff Pete. You know who else got a really good draw? Alabama.
And I'm not so sure they should even be in.
Right, but I mean,
you've
you've got Oklahoma round 1, right, on a standalone game Friday night, where you've played them before, and I think Alabama wins that game, even though it's in Norman.
Who are y'all's 12 teams that deserve to be in it? I mean, not deserve, but should be in it, because I think Texas should be in it, and Vandy, over Notre Dame and Miami, and JMU, and Tulane.
Well, if you could pick the top 12,
Like,
if you
yeah,
just
if
did
I
it,
could pick the top 12 just straight up.
yeah,
that's an interesting
I mean,
exercise.
let's see.
like I'm literally picking 6 SEC teams.
No, I mean, I think I'm in the same boat. I think 6 SEC teams as well.
and I'm not putting Duke in there. I'm not putting Miami in there. I'm not putting Virginia in there.
Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Alabama. See, because Oklahoma I have my questions about. I don't think they're that good.
Yeah, I would honestly think about taking Oklahoma out.
I would take Oklahoma out. I would keep Miami in. And so I don't remember how many I just rattled off.
What are your credentials for this?
My
It's just
credentials?
teams-
Just what I've watched. I've watched.
That's
the
what I'm
games.
saying. Like if
Literally
you
the
like,
12
That's my
best
credentials. I'm not
teams.
comparing resume. I'm just like I watch games, and like if I look at this top 25, I keep Indiana. The top 5 stays put. The top 7 stays put. Even though Oklahoma beat Alabama head to head, I mean, really, Oklahoma and Alabama should both be lower than that. I think Texas and Vandy both get in, and I think Notre Dame gets in. Even though I hate Notre Dame,
Yeah, I agree.
and I hate that they're not in the conference, I think they're one of the 12 best teams. So I would honestly,
I'd go Georgia at 1.
because see, this is what sucks, right? Because you want to swap, like I want to swap out Vandy and Oklahoma for Alabama. I mean, Alabama and Oklahoma for Vandy and Texas, but Alabama beat Vandy straight up, head to head. But I still think that like Vandy should get in. But Alabama's one of the 12 best teams too.
No, I would just take out Miami and BYU.
BYU's not in it.
No, I'm looking at the top 25, so I would take out JMU and Tulane
See,
and put
So
in
you would
Vandy
leave
and Texas.
You would leave Notre Dame, get rid of Miami.
they played each other.
I would honestly take, I would take Miami over Notre Dame. I mean, simply because they've played each other.
But Notre Dame's won 10 straight.
See, my thing, like the biggest swap I would make is I think Texas is better than Oklahoma is, and they played head to head.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks about that is Oklahoma beat Alabama, and so if you're taking Oklahoma out, well, how are you not taking Alabama out? You know what I mean?
And if you're, I think
I would love Vandy to get in.
Okay, for the teams that didn't get in, who got screwed the most? Because I find it, and I understand. I don't think they could win it, and I guess that's the test case because they played Texas Tech twice, got beat twice.
Oh, BYU.
But yeah,
I mean they got screwed.
So at some point, why do I even show up to the conference championship? Like it almost fucked Alabama as well, because you went and played and you played poorly. You played so bad, in fact, that you ran for -3. I ran for more yards than you did, and
Yeah, LSU ran for more yards than
which is hard.
Alabama
They
last
can't do that well.
Right.
But they did better than you by not playing. But if I'm Alabama, it's like, okay, I went to a SEC championship, lost in a fashion that goes, I don't know if they deserve to be in the tournament. Like, well, what if I didn't play?
What?
Miami didn't play. Notre Dame didn't play.
I mean, I don't.
BYU plays. They're 11-1.
I just think that's Georgia, though.
They're 11-1 and lost to the number 4 team in the country twice, and you don't get to go.
Yeah, no, I mean they got screwed. I mean, I don't think they're one of the 12 best teams.
Me either, but I'm saying they don't.
Yeah,
that doesn't
no,
make
process
sense.
wise,
Right.
like it.
You don't think Alabama's one of the 12 best teams?
I'm talking about BYU.
Oh, BYU. Yeah, no.
No, like it sucks for BYU because I don't think they are either. But if Alabama didn't drop with the way they played against Georgia, they didn't change spots, right?
The only team in the history of the college football playoff to not move after a loss.
They did not move whatsoever. But BYU, it was on the outside looking in already, so technically they didn't really move either. But, I mean, they were 11-1, with their only loss being to the number 4 team in the country. And they lost to them again. You know? I think the biggest problem with all of this is the fact that you're gift wrapping 2 spots for teams that do not belong.
At all.
Are barely in the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're both ranked in the 20s. They should not be in the playoff.
Why are...
But you're trying to make people happy and say, well, everybody gets a chance. No. Congratulations to James Madison. You get a participation trophy. And look, if they prove you wrong and they beat Oregon, so be it. But it's stupid. Tulane and James Madison should not be in the playoff.
I think it's fair to give a G5 team a spot, but you need like a 2022-23 Cincinnati-like year for that to happen. Like, you need an undefeated G5 that's played and beat good teams to be in there.
If they have gone undefeated and they've been, like if
they've beaten somebody
USF
valuable,
would have gone undefeated this year with wins over Florida and Miami and whoever else they played that was and Boise State in week 1, like if they would have gone undefeated with those big wins, right? All those teams they played, then I could see how they would have earned a spot.
Like 2018 UCF.
Right, they would have been in a 12 team, but Tulane doesn't belong in a 12 team, and JMU doesn't belong in a 12 team. Like they're not one of the 12 best teams.
James Madison is a 21.5 point
underdog.
That should not be the case in the play. That's embarrassing. In a playoff game, the spread for James Madison, Oregon is 21.5, and the spread for Tulane, Ole Miss is 17.5.
I think it's bad enough they just hired Billy Napier.
But it's just like that's not playoff football. A 17-point blowout is what you're expecting.
Billy Napier left Florida and went to a playoff program. Think about that.
Nice. Like, instead of that, give me a 12-seed Texas going to Eugene.
That would be a game.
Give me an 11-seed Vandy going to Oxford.
Vandy to Oxford.
You know what I mean? Like, give me, and I'll even take the SEC out of it. Give me an 11-seed Notre Dame playing in Oxford. You know, like, give me a 12-seed BYU playing. Give me a Power 4 program, right, that played a real schedule and belongs. Instead of gift wrapping a playoff spot for Tulane and James Madison to put a smile on someone's face. I don't care if it's unfair. That's the world. They don't have the players.
You're not good enough.
Like, it's just the case.
You're named after a Federalist.
But I mean,
James Madison.
We're gift wrapping playoff spots. That should never be the world.
You're named after a founding father.
James Madison.
James Madison.
You're named after Alabama.
I mean, did we not?
Who is Alabama?
Boise State played last year in the CFP, right? They played against Penn State.
They lost by 1 touchdown.
Nope, they lost by
a field goal.
17 points.
Oh.
They lost 31-14.
And Penn State is ass.
And Penn State was not good. And Boise State had an NFL running back that was a top 5 pick, right?
Yep.
But they also...
And they have a blue field.
They do.
They didn't play a home game, but that would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
But like in 2024, Boise State, let's look back at what they did, right? So they were a top 10 team in the country, ranked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like they in their season, let's see, where's 2024? Here we go. In 2024, they beat Georgia Southern and they lose by 3 to Oregon on the road, right? Other than that loss to Oregon, they beat number 24 UNLV. They beat Oregon State. They beat UNLV again, dominated them in the conference championship game, and they had a Heisman finalist on their team. I can understand how they get an opportunity, but they're still not one of the 12 best teams. But I get how they got a chance.
Well, considering you left out Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina at the time, yeah.
Right. But like at the same time, like they drew eyes because they had a Heisman finalist that was an NFL running back, and they had battled teams in the past. Like, who does James Madison attract against Oregon? Who's James Madison's quarterback? Ready, go. You know what I mean? Like,
we could play this game with a lot of teams, honestly.
I know, but they're in the playoff.
Yeah, no.
Can you name every other playoff quarterback? I'm gonna
no.
I'm gonna quiz you, Christian. We're gonna do that right now.
I cannot.
Because I think majority
Maybe I
of
can.
us
I don't
could.
know.
I think majority of us could.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Texas Tech's. Oregon is Dante Moore. Pull up the.
I'm about to go through
all
the
right.
graphic right now. So
Say
Indiana is number 1.
Fernando Mendoza.
Right?
Go flipping awesome, man.
I'm so proud of these guys. I hope he loses first round, to be honest.
And then who's
second
number 2?
round, I mean.
Number 2 is Ohio State.
Julian Sayin.
Right. And then number 3 is Georgia.
Gunnar Stockton.
Right? And then you have number 4, Texas Tech.
I've got no idea.
Morton.
That's on me.
Morton is his last name, right?
Okay, that's
Morton.
on me.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
watch
I
it.
mean,
No,
When the
that's
Big
all
12
right. That's
championship's
all right.
on, I'm not
That's
watching.
all right. Okay, Oregon number 5.
Dante Moore.
Yep. Number 6, Ole Miss.
Trinidad
Chambliss. Number 7, Texas A&M.
Marcel Reed.
All right. Number 8, Oklahoma.
John Mateer.
Yep. Number 9, Alabama.
Ty Simpson.
Number 10, Miami.
Carson Beck.
And then 11, Tulane.
Darian Mensah.
That's literally
That's
what,
dude,
yeah.
Jake Retzlaff, right? The only reason I know that because he was at BYU.
Retzlaff.
Oh yeah, he's
got kicked out.
He's the super soaker.
TJ Finley was their quarterback for a second.
He was. And then JMU.
It's hard to drive
I could not
to New
name you
Orleans.
one. And see, the thing about Tulane, no offense to Tulane, Retzlaff is the only player that I can name.
Dude, this is like the 5th time I've seen JMU's logo.
JMU, I just
Well,
like
they went on a run with
ever.
The coach at Indiana now was the coach at JMU. That's how he got this job. He was trying to get him in the playoff 2 years ago.
I don't even think I saw his logo. I don't think I saw their logo.
Okay,
2 years
interesting
ago.
point by Kai Cord in the chat.
Matthew Sluka?
It should have been
Alonzo Barnett.
JMU versus Tulane, Oregon versus Texas A&M, Miami versus Alabama, Oklahoma versus Ole Miss.
You just want to reseed it?
Like just completely
Sure,
reseeding.
but no one is going to watch that JMU Tulane game, so you might as well just take it out and put in an SEC game.
And I agree with that, but also like but if you would have put the 2 G5 teams up against one another and
A
said,
play-in
hey,
game.
one of you gets in,
They should have a play-in game.
then maybe it's a little different, right? But still, in my opinion, you should just put the 12 best teams in, because that's not what this is, right? That started the conversation. In what year was it when Cincinnati didn't get in and they went undefeated?
That's
Was
because
it
Brian Kelly left.
2020. No, I'm talking about in 2020, like 1. Or was it, what year was it that they got in?
They
one
got
year,
in and got clapped.
and they got clobbered, right?
And that was like, oh, you got to let them in.
But then it was obvious they were not one of the 4 best teams.
We can go back all the way to when
Florida State in 23, they were undefeated. They weren't one of the 4 best teams. Their quarterback was hurt. That was the case. They weren't one of the 4 best. And so now we have a process where
we got rid
it's
of that.
not the 12 best teams. It's, because, and this is the thing, and I get it, there's not always 12 teams. Like, you can't look at the season and say, hey, there's 12 teams that legit have a chance to win the
let's do another
the playoff.
exercise.
Okay, let's do it.
Geographically, where's Alabama?
In the southeast.
Where's Oklahoma?
In the south.
Indiana.
Midwest.
Texas Tech.
South.
James
Madison. Do you see where we're working across the map here?
Right, they're trying to cover
coast.
every.
They have covered this coast to coast.
Yes.
Tip to tail.
You're going from Miami to Oregon,
Oregon.
which is literally corner to corner, right?
Going from
you also have
Ohio
the
State
Midwest.
to New Orleans.
Right. You also have the Midwest, and you've got the South.
What about Alaska?
Oh,
Minnesota!
Bro! But that's all they did. They just made sure to hit every pocket of
Right.
programming.
They They check their
They
boxes.
didn't need Notre Dame because they have Indiana.
I think that might have just been how it played out, but
No, it's what they do. This is on purpose.
I mean, they think with TV ratings in mind.
That's all they
that's
think.
all it is.
That's why the rest of this is just a farce.
no,
like
I don't
them,
think
like,
they do.
Oh, that's
Okay,
'cause
and
you're
here-
naive and a child.
No, if this was the thought with TV ratings, then Texas and Vandy would be in the playoff, or Texas and BYU would be in
They
the playoff.
have Texas Tech and Texas A&M. They
yeah,
don't
but
need
UT
Texas.
is a big.
They don't need this.
Right, but they're still getting the rate. They're still getting that.
They're still
that
getting
region.
Texas.
You know what I mean? Like they're still checking that box.
I
Like,
guess
get
if
what
that's
you're-
how TV ratings work,
I get what you're saying. Where you
if you
want-
check
you want
every
the- you
region's
want
box,
brand.
You're thinking of like the TV ratings of like, oh, who's going to draw the most eyes, right? Like,
Yeah.
I get that 100%, and that's why Alabama's in it.
Like-
No offense to Alabama, that's why they're in because they get a draw. Their logo gets a draw.
For now.
Right? You have the logo recognition. You have the Oregon, the Alabama, the Georgia, the Ohio State. Right? There's your logo recognition. The Miami, the U. That's why they're in. The logo, you recognize it, right? But then you have your region. You have Texas, check the box. Oklahoma as well in that region. Then you have the Southeastern. You have Ole Miss, right? But then you check all the boxes.
You check Alabama.
That makes
You
sense.
cover the SEC.
That
you
makes
got
sense.
Ole Miss, Georgia, and you can even put, if you want to put Tulane into that, you got a little bit of Louisiana. People will maybe watch. Texas, you have covered. Miami, the state of Florida, you have covered. They'll all watch. Oregon, you got whatever's going on up there. And then Oklahoma, Alabama, Indiana, Texas. Like they went across the country. They manifested destiny.
Right.
And that's all they're trying to do is to have, because to your point, is Texas draw more eyes? Yes. But they're thinking about the people in the home in the state of Texas.
Let's go back to last year's playoff.
They'll put it on to watch Texas A&M play. They'll put it on to watch
Of
Texas
course.
Tech play.
They're
It'll just be
hate watch.
it'll be on in the home. They don't care if you actually watch.
Can we do this experiment with last year's playoff bracket too?
Yeah, put it up.
I'm curious.
But I also think this is a deal in which you learn from each year. So I think they're going to look at last year and they're going to say, okay, here's what we went right, here's what we went wrong. Let's fix that this year.
You think they did that? You think they've learned?
I think that they have looked at what they did last year and said, okay, Indiana versus Notre Dame, they shouldn't play each other because that's the same TV market. That's in Indiana and it's in South Bend, Indiana.
See, I think in TV ratings they probably did improve their game, but if you remember last year, it was kind of obvious that they should have put in a South Carolina and Ole Miss, like the 3-loss SEC teams that didn't get in, and Alabama, Ole Miss, and then a South Carolina. Those were the 3 teams, and it looked like they should have put them in over an SMU and then.
But I mean, look at this.
Boise.
Like you check your boxes, right?
Clemson. Well, Clemson played well at Texas, but all right, let's see.
You have Tennessee.
I mean, who do you believe shouldn't have gotten in when you look at this?
Geographically,
Ole Miss and Clemson.
once again, geographically, they checked
They check
every box.
The West Coast, yeah.
Yep. I mean, they check the
Midwest,
boxes.
Southeast. Then they got Boise in there.
And they got Boise, so you got your
Arizona State.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did.
and then
it
they
again.
got Penn State all the way up top.
Is this a new theory?
This has been my
Well,
prevailing
this is the
way the world works.
No,
This is all a money. It's all for money. The reason they went from 4 to 12 wasn't to get more teams in. It was to play more games so you watched more football. When they go from 12 to 16, it's not to make the people happy. It's to get more teams in so you watch more football.
And they hide it under the guise of
It's because when you look at March Madness, it's not because there's always all that. I mean, there's blowouts in March Madness, right? It happens, but you are watching basketball for 2 straight weeks.
The
where
only
they're
reason-
playing hundreds of games.
The only reason why people like March Madness is because of that one. There's
Not
2
actually
or
hundreds,
3 days
but-
because where basketball's on constantly.
Right.
You
But
can watch
think
it at
about-
work.
think about that. Think
That's
about
the
that.
only reason why people like college basketball.
Think about the advertising you can sell on that. The people that will put their ads in between those games during the commercials on your quad box, whatever, during March Madness. It's for money. And now they need more of it because they're having to cough some of it up.
Mhm.
That's the situation. Now they need more money. How can we make more money? Because we're having to share now. For years, they didn't have to share. Now they have to share. We appreciate everybody getting in here, hanging out with us in this morning. Andrew Messina, pull up the top 12 from 2019 and see who LSU would have had to play all.
I have it right,
Let's see,
Sean.
the 2019.
So is that AP poll?
Yeah, so the 2019 AP poll or the CFP poll.
Whatever this is, I have it, conjecture. I mean, it's 2019.
LSU probably would have had to play.
Here it is.
Oh, wait, I wouldn't know actually.
Okay, so the CFP rankings here. So if this is the top 12, LSU would play the winner of number 5, Alabama, and the top G5 team, which is Cincinnati.
Gross.
God.
So essentially,
See,
you would've
Alabama
played-
again?
You would have played Bama.
Think they lose?
Do you think they would have moved it around?
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe. Because I think who were your conference champions?
Because they
that
put
year?
Alabama 5 in this in 2019 to keep it close. It was
Even though they had just lost to Auburn.
right.
You think LSU loses
No,
the second Bama meeting?
no,
Yeah, but it's Nick Saban.
I don't
If
care.
there's
I
one
wouldn't
man
have
that
wanted to.
could've-
I would not have wanted
If
to.
there's one man that
play
could have taken
Alabama
down the
again.
Avengers,
No.
That team was unbelievable. I would not have wanted to play Alabama again.
like, dude, because they won the next year, and they were talking like the next year that they're the second greatest team of all
Let's
time.
see. No, they're talking that they were the greatest. So you have
They played an all SEC schedule.
You have your SEC champion. You have your Big Ten champion. You have your ACC champion. Okay, and so what are you missing? The Big 12, which would have been what? Oklahoma. Wait, how was Oklahoma got into the playoff? Oh, this is in November. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was about to say this is because I was about to say Alabama lost to Auburn. This was right after the Bama game, or the weekend after the Bama game.
Notre Dame would have found their way in.
These are hard to find.
Yeah, it is. It's not an easy thing to because
Because it was only 4.
right.
Here we go. This was also a fun exercise to do whenever LSU was like, I don't know if they're going to make the playoff.
Okay, here we go. I'm looking at it too.
I have
Okay.
I think this is this one? This is December. Oklahoma's still not in.
Right, and LSU's not one.
Right. So this is
So what I've got here, LSU 1, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, Oklahoma 4. So there's your 4 conference champions, okay? That leaves Georgia at 5, Oregon at 6, Baylor at 7, Wisconsin at 8, Florida 9, Penn State 10, Utah 11, Auburn 12, with Alabama at 13. So LSU would play the winner of number 5, which is Georgia, which would have been the 2-loss SEC championship loser. And they would have played the top G5 team, which was Memphis. And so LSU would play the winner of Memphis, Georgia, which would probably be Georgia. They play Georgia again.
LSU would slap Georgia.
Ohio State would play the winner of the which game? Or no, LSU would play the winner of the 8-9 game, not the 5-12 game, the 8-9 game. Right?
I guess so.
Yes, it's the 8-9 game. So 8-9 would be Wisconsin, Florida. They'd play the winner of Wisconsin and Florida. So they'd probably face Florida again. Ohio State would play the winner of the 7-10 game, which would be Baylor and Penn State. Clemson would play the winner of the 6-11 game, which would be Oregon and Utah. And then Oklahoma would play the winner of the 5-12 game, Georgia and Memphis. So, now, I mean, there'll probably be some changes there, but it could still maybe be, entertaining. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Sean D-Bone, the more football, the better. It's almost over and we will all miss it. Yeah, no, I'm never against more football. I just want good football. Expand the playoff as much as you want. I'm not opposed to that. I will watch more football.
Shrink the NFL season.
But give me good games. Yep, there it is. So
LSU runs through this anyway.
yeah, I mean, LSU still wins.
Who just breathed like that? Who did that?
Christian.
Okay, don't do that again.
Not in the microphone, please.
My bad.
The only team that would make me bad and I would be Alabama again.
Mm-hmm.
The only team.
They didn't make it
And they didn't get in.
because you lost to Auburn.
Lost
Thank
to
you,
Auburn.
Auburn. Iron Bowl.
Well, no, they had no Tua. Shout out to Mac Jones. Lost that game.
Fat Mac.
I remember because I was in Tiger Stadium, LSU Texas A&M senior night, the 50-7 win where they got the lick back.
I'll remember it well.
I vividly remember them putting Auburn beating Alabama up there and me taking a collective, okay, good. Because they were going to backdoor Alabama into that whole mix, and I could see the writing on the wall.
As they should have.
No, they're going to do that again.
As they should have.
What was their one? What was
Four best teams.
What was their loss? LSU.
It was LSU and Auburn.
Oh yeah, they would have gotten in with one loss.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, they almost got in with two.
They were at 13, but yeah, they would have been in the 12 team. Yeah.
Oh well, sorry about that.
All right, we appreciate
Who was playing
everybody.
quarterback at Auburn?
Who? Bo Nix. Remember,
Oh.
freshman of the year over Stingley.
Oh yeah,
Disgusting.
wasn't Nick Marshall?
No. Nick Marshall was a national
No,
championship
no.
caliber quarterback.
He was. Also beat Alabama,
Kick 6.
and he beat Georgia.
The miracle of Jordan Hare.
They've had some. Auburn's
They're a silly team.
It's
They're
not the
silly.
worst life
No. I mean, you
because
got
they don't think they're going to win anything. But Alabama,
No, they do.
Well, they fire people like they are,
Right,
but there's because I guess it is a nauseating experience. Like, well, we always play Alabama pretty tough every year, the best team in the country. Like, we lost to Air Force. Think, okay, what do y'all got going on down there?
We lost to New Mexico State with Diego Pavia, but we're gonna make Jalen Milroe throw a miracle throw to Isaiah Bond in the back of the end zone in the Iron Bowl in overtime on 4th down because that's what we do. That's Auburn.
And then you just put your pom-pom in your back pocket and going home. Fuck.
Just rolling out of here.
That was fun, though.
I mean, did LSU not beat Auburn that year when they made the Natty against Florida State?
Yeah.
Jeremy Hill crushed them.
Yeah, they did.
Jeremy Hill ran all over him, right? 2013. I feel like I remember that.
They did. They had what?
Now,
Frank
35-21.
Mason and Nick Marshall.
LSU wins. Yeah.
Was that
Silly
Frank
little
Mason,
team.
Nick
And
Marshall?
Jeremy Hill, what? How many? What? He had a game. That
184.
game. Yeah. I thought
3
so.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
No, Trey Mason. That was it.
Yes,
Not-
Trey Mason.
Not the Kansas guard.
Rest in peace.
Frank
Oh,
Mason.
you said Frank Mason?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Legend. Frank Mason the third.
I was combining Frank Thomas.
Nick Marshall,
Also an
17 of
Auburn legend.
33 with 2 interceptions. Mettenberger, 14 of 22.
Come on.
Efficient.
Efficient QB, man.
Jarvis Landry, 7 catches for 118 and a touchdown.
And then Jeremy Hill.
Jay Allen. Jordan Allen had a pick. Cool, that's a name.
Jordan Allen.
Uh-huh.
Didn't we just have a Jordan Allen?
Like walk you
We've
down.
had
Jordan
two Jordan
Allen.
Allens.
I guess so. I didn't. He
Walk him
played.
down, Jordan Allen.
Welcome down, Jordan Allen was the recent Jordan Allen. He's at Houston, I believe. He's at Houston.
So we traded with him with
That's who
Halsey.
LSU plays in the bowl game. We haven't talked about the bowl game at all.
You get Jordan Allen, we get Halsey.
Seth Frugier, 1 carry, 8
That's
yards.
interesting. Halsey plays.
Halsey's from Houston.
I love
don't
it.
know if he'll play.
I guess he made a lateral
I
move.
love looking at old box scores.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's names you just don't really think about.
Right.
But when you
forget
see
about him,
Jamie Keene,
bring some memories back.
Cody Parkey, Craig Lawston,
Oh, Papa.
Papa Craig, 5-star
Stud.
Craig,
Was it South Carolina?
the pick.
Took it like 108 yards.
I think, was it Auburn when you got the pick and he slid? Put him down?
I think so. Some good memories, man.
Papa Craig was... some will say overrated.
went to
I will
Jack-
say
properly-
underrated.
Underrated, really? I was properly rated.
Maybe properly
Went
rated.
to
is fair.
Jacksonville. Played okay in
Played.
Jacksonville. Yeah.
He's a pro.
He's a pro.
Let's connect athletically, as pros do.
Let's. Or we can keep going down this.
I
rabbit
mean, this
hole.
is just what I
do
do
this
with
all
my.
day.
It's like Wyatt when he was like the top 1% of wheels.
Yeah.
It's like that's one way to. It's a great way to spend your time. To be
It is.
honest,
It is.
I mean,
It
you're
really
learning
is.
something.
It really. I mean,
Because he does. I mean, it works. He knows a ton.
He does. He knows a lot. I wish he would get on the microphone.
You know that comes with experience.
Yep.
Because if we just didn't tell him, and he just talked,
Right.
he'd be great. But we'll see.
We'll see.
He's never really given himself the opportunity to get
Nope.
on the microphone. Christian never ran from it. Actually, ran to it.
He yawns in it.
Yeah. Very comfortable.
Breathe in
He had
it.
his hand in his pants on Friday.
He has his hand in his pants right now.
They're in my sweatshirt. I do put my hands in my pants, but
Nice.
not today.
Not
Good
yet.
Not till you see that celebrity mashup.
There you
Gross.
Let's
Hard
see.
ball, speed ball, heavy ball, rosin ball.
You've got shin guards. You've got chest protector. You've got mask. And you've got mitt.
Catching stuff.
Then you've got holding. You've got chop block.
Clipping.
You've got false start. And you've got clipping. And then you've got a
these are all
rosin
movies.
bag, a heavy bag, a speed bag, and a duffel bag. And then these are all bags.
Love it. Bring bag.
And then you have Chrissy, douchebag.
Oh, nice. Why is there a... Oh, it's just open air.
What?
Got a couple skeeters in here.
Oh yeah, it's not that happens sometimes. You got the door open, you know.
Might need to move that ceiling tile over.
I don't know. I don't think that's how that works. I think it's open for a reason. Because of the light.
W.
Wyatt is currently taking Tucker for a walk. Hunter's convinced that I don't take care of my dog.
He's doing the what?
He just uses his dog to get girls.
Oh yeah, you're like
Juice Kiffining it.
You're like the guy in Veep that he carries around a picture of a dog in his wallet. It's like, we all know the dog's fake.
He does.
He's like, no, it's right here.
He does use Tucker's Juice Kiffin.
And he does.
No, I don't.
Gross. Yes, you do.
Love that dog. That dog's with me all the time.
Love him. He gets me phone numbers and blondes.
Shared the bed with Tucker last night.
Me too.
Anthony Mackie.
What?
What is
that? Bill Hader? The hair?
It is on the outside.
Kirk Cousins.
The outside, behind him.
Yeah, but I don't know who this other person is.
Kirk Cousins.
But is it Daniel Day-Lewis with no facial hair?
They really did a bad job of imposing this.
Well, it's off kilter here.
Yep.
I got it right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, dude. Come on! Well, he got drafted in 2004. This quarterback's first year as a starter was in 2000, let's say 6 or 8?
6.
In which he led his team to a 14-2 record. Who went 14-2 in 06?
I want to say it's not this person. Thought it was Ben Roethlisberger, but he started as a rookie, did you not?
He did.
So it wouldn't be him. But that's that same draft. Eli Manning.
Yeah. Phillip Rivers. Eli. It was Rivers.
Phillip Rivers then.
This is Rivers?
Yeah, because it was Drew Brees. Gets hurt, goes to the Saints in what year?
06.
2005?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yep. Felipe.
Bang.
Nice.
Got it. Let's go. This American League team had the #1 overall pick between 12, 13, and 14, but 2 of them never played a major league game for the team.
It's just Astros?
Okay, who was the #1 pick in 12, 13, 14? When was Harper picked? It was later than that. It was earlier than that.
Swanson.
Yeah, Harper was picked
Braves.
earlier. Dansby Swanson went to the who? He went to
Braves.
the Braves. In
He
what
could have been
year
the one
was
that played.
That might have been 2015.
Yeah, when
The year before that. The Athletics, the Orioles, the Padres.
Yeah, I did see that, Glenn. Phillip Rivers is working out for the Colts today.
No way. That's awesome, dude.
44 years old, has a grandchild.
But he can still swing the pill.
Can still sling the pill, man.
He loves football.
Oh my gosh, he loves football and having children.
Uh-huh. And it ain't fucking season. It's football season.
It's time to sling the pill, not take it.
Yeah. The only protection I wear is a helmet, son. And that's your knee brace.
I mean, he's got a full roster out there.
He does.
Like, hey, Hunter, you're gonna get out wide. James, you're right here at center.
Gunner.
Yeah, Gunner, you're slinging. I tell you what. Okay, what team is this? American League. Who's in the American League?
The Twins.
Nice.
Is it the Phillies?
Astros. Carlos Correa.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you did. You did. Good job, boy.
Hey. Oh, yeah. Sound like Phillip Rivers.
After multiple 100-point seasons, the Canucks traded what's his name?
Pavel Bure
to this Eastern Conference team. And, yep.
The Celtics.
Who we got?
Oh, my gosh.
We always say the Penguins or the Red Wings.
Who's the team in Chicago?
The Black Hawks.
Good job.
Black Hawk Down.
Do
Daddy.
they have to change their name? Or
They should not have. I mean,
No, they
The
shouldn't have to
Florida
change their
Panthers.
name.
there we go.
Philip Rivers, mass producer of children.
He is. He's
Yep.
helping the population. Elon Musk, cry more.
Not counting the United Kingdom, what is the
Nah.
most populated European country
That begins with
that
a vowel.
begins with a vowel? Italy?
AEIOU.
Italy?
Those-
Or
I'd like to buy a vowel. That's it. Italy's an I. AEIOIOU. Okay.
It has to be.
Could be.
I was like, oh, wait, why are you? I feel like I'm right.
Italy?
Feels right.
The Muslims are taking over Europe.
Feels
There-
right.
Oh, it's
Feels
right. No, it's what's going on in Minnesota?
It's Somalians.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Mhm.
Very interesting.
You're so informed about the wrong things.
Why is that wrong?
It's just because you want to work in sports media. You're on a sports podcast.
They
And you
should
just-
be.
you-
Why didn't they all go to Pittsburgh?
What, the immigrants?
The Somalians. They could be the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I don't know. I don't know why they choose the northern. I don't
Well, they
get
did that to rig the vote.
As a
Ma-
part
they
of
might-
the
I don't know
2020
why.
rebrand,
I think it's just wherever they
It's
could
bigger
find
than you,
housing.
this chicken
Christian.
chain dropped famous chicken and biscuits from locations with updated signs.
As a part of a 2020 rebrand, this chicken chain dropped famous
Who
chicken and
rebranded in
dropped
2020?
as in like dropped as in like
Crystal?
they started doing
They
it or
started
like,
it or they got rid of it?
right.
Hardee's or Crystal.
Did Hardee's get a new sign? Famous chicken and biscuits.
Famous chicken and biscuits.
Tim Waltz. Bojangles.
Bojangles.
Shout out PPP Dub.
Never been
PPP
there.
loan.
You've
In
been to
2020,
Bojangles, Noah?
this streaming app acquired the Simpsons library of episodes and has a 24/7 stream of episodes on its app. Is
This
this
is Disney
parent
Plus?
Disney Plus or Paramount?
It's Disney Plus. Luke watched the entirety of The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
This 2001 spy comedy film featured a beagle voiced by Tobey Maguire as the main protagonist, and Sean Hayes voicing a feline that's the lead villain.
Dogs vs. Cats, Spy Dogs.
Yeah, I think so.
Dogs vs. Cats.
I watched that.
I'm with
Oh,
you.
I
gotcha.
I'd watch that.
This is like the first movie
Cats
I've
and
ever
dogs.
got.
Boner dogs.
It's I might be wrong.
Is it not cats and dogs?
Cats and dogs.
I got you.
Oh yeah, I got you. This Scottish
This
woman
Scottish-
gained fame by singing "I Dreamed a Dream."
On Britain's Got Talent.
Scottish. I dreamed a dream. Oi,
I have no idea.
wouldn't you know it?
I don't even care.
Woke up, went to bed, dreamed a dream.
You ever feel like that on some of these? Like, I just don't care.
Yeah, but I'd
Look
like
at the
to.
chat.
Somebody knows.
Somebody's gonna know it. Chrissy do 6'7".
Oh
speed.
yeah, I told him I would beat his record live on stream.
Did you? What was his record?
Suzanne
did like
Boyle.
this-
Oh, nice. Susan Boyle. So are you
Suzanne.
gonna? Are you gonna
I'll do it when I'll film it when I get
Nice.
home.
No, you should do it right now. We'll turn the camera on you.
Dude, we're not doing this on camera. We'll do this when we
Christian
get
told Gage he was gonna beat his speed 6'7", and live on the show today. And now
What does that
Chrissy
mean?
won't do it. He was gonna do 6'7" as fast as humanly possible.
How? What's the timing? How do you know if you beat
home.
him or not?
It's like this website or something, and you just it tracks your motion.
Oh, so you're gonna do it. You have to now.
Dude.
That's Suzanne Boyle. I had a feeling that's what she looked like.
She looks like she makes great pancakes.
What do you think she dreamed about?
I dreamed the dream.
Pancakes?
Ozempic.
No, she's not trying to lose weight.
She can sing though better than us.
She probably dreamed about her grandkids or something.
Let's see what the lyrics
she looks
are.
like a sweet old lady.
67speed.com is the website.
Okay.
Can we hook it up to the camera?
I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
I'll do it if we can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get warmed up.
The trick is short strokes.
Nice. You're on camera. What are you doing? What's going on over there? Yo.
I can't. Camera's too difficult.
Mm.
We'll do it off air.
She's richer than all of us. Yeah, well, I'm
Yeah.
skinny, so.
Yeah.
Is she richer than me?
Nice, Chrissy. That's not very nice of you. Close out the show, Christian.
right.
She has $29 million.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll be back Wednesday.
Apologize to Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle, I'm very sorry.
There you go. Close it out. Come on, be strong with it, like you want it.
We'll see you tomorrow, 7 to 9. We're live every day, Monday to Friday. I don't know if I'll be here. Noah and Lloyd will be here, obviously, because they have to be here. They get paid. I don't.
We don't.
Well, Wyatt might be here tomorrow. Maybe Jonathan.
Jonathan
Kinfolk.
will be here tomorrow.
Nice.
Coming in tonight.
Nice. W.
That was about as bad as it could be.
Dude, I mean, like.
We appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m.
That's what I.